Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in this world. This is a crossover episode by Sports Bytes and Sports on Air, and this is a very special episode. Kami ni Brian, we will have some rest backs as well. But first and foremost, we are the main moderators. My name is Ernest Hernandez of Sports on Air, and of course, my partner right here is
Brian Yalung.
Brian. Ikaw na mag-introduce ng natin, isang rest back.
Isang rest back. Actually, nagulat ako, sabi late. Tapos biglang sinus na aga eh. Paparinig ako sa ito sa isa. No other than my good friend, Miss Alexine.
Hello! Sabi niyo kasi 3:30, so ginawa ko siyang 4?
Ganun ba yun?
Oo.
Check your messenger again.
Yeah, I have to check. Sorry, with everything going on, it's busy day. Hello, guys. I missed you. How is Sports on Air?
And we're doing good. Sports Bites as well.
Sports Bites as well.
I haven't rested since my birthday.
Oh,
what's that? What's rest?
Nothing.
Yeah, it's not in the vocabulary. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for today, you guys. I think Brian and I are especially excited since it's a sport very close to our heart, and something that I think I would beat Brian if we were to spar one-on-one. What do you say?
You beat a lot of guys naman, Alex.
Of course you will beat me. I will not hit you. I will not kick. I will just stand.
Marami nang pinugbog si Alex, Brian, wag ka mag-alala.
Okay.
No, pero yan pa nung nakilala ko si Alex talaga pangalan niya eh.
Yeah,
it's a guy.
It's a guy's name. But then again, nothing is really a guy's or a girl's, as Women's Month, guys.
Sakto. But anyway, Alex, let us introduce our special guest for today. Okay? A multi-medalist in gymnastics and also an Olympian in Taekwondo, Miss Bea Lucero-Lhuillier. Hello, Miss Bea.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, diba?
Hi.
Oh my gosh, I'm starstruck.
Kanina pa.
I didn't know that I was going to be with two that actually did Taekwondo in the past. Alex, you played Taekwondo?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did as a kid. And we actually I went to the same school.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Rizal Memorial?
ISM.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So Bearcat here. Welcome, Bea. Thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
And
sorry. Yes, go ahead, Ernest.
We will also be joined later by CJ Hirro. As usual, yung Hirro natin is the last one to come in.
No, she's pretty busy. So she'll be coming
very
in.
busy ang babae niya, no? But she will be joining us and joining in on the fun as well as we pick the mind of Miss Bea right here.
That's right. So Bea, how have you been? How has the pandemic been treating you this past year actually?
Last year, I guess I'm pretty much in the same situation as everyone else in this country. The lockdown, find ways of making things work for us, whether physically or mentally. I mean, we're hanging in there.
That's right. Actually, I've been meaning to ask this to you actually. Like, you mentioned mindset. Does being an athlete have a huge significance on how you have been this past year and how you've been dealing with the pandemic?
Definitely. Well, I mean, I think that not just the pandemic, but the mindset that I have really from all of those years of training has affected my whole entire life. It's it's the way I live. It's a lifestyle already. But this past year, of course, it was tested, and it proves to work. There's nothing perfect, but making do, trying to get in a workout, every day somehow, some way, whether it's online with someone, or if I can go out for a walk, then I'd rather go out for a walk. I don't do anything too strenuous. What I used to. But anything that kind of makes me mentally calmer, physically more energized, then that's good.
That's something to do. I know, like you started out very young in sports, and I can't help but feel bad for the kids or the youth today because, unlike us, we had the whole world as our playground. We didn't have the pandemic. So I know you have kids as well. How do you approach what's happening with them, and trying to get in that sports time every day?
It's been really tough, actually. I mean, I think that uh, aside from the effects of COVID, I think that the mental health of the children nowadays is really at risk. And having 4 kids of all different ages, I've got
Ooh.
21-year-old, a 17-year-old, I've got a 14 and an 11. So I've got pretty much the whole range. So when this whole thing started in March, I pulled back my son from Boston. He's going to school
Oh, wow.
in Boston, and I pulled him back. He stayed here, but then when school opened in August, he's part of the NCAA tennis team,
Mm-hmm.
Tufts University. So we had made a family decision to allow him to go back, just because I thought that it would have been the safest thing for him and the most. He needed to be able to still work out, still socialize, and it was just going to be hard. Not like full socialization, obviously, but with his teammates, right?
Right.
That worked out for a bit, and then he eventually had to come back because things got worse there, and so it's just been quite tough on everyone. And my second son, who's 17, he was in IS. Because my eldest also graduated from IS. My second was also in IS, and I made my husband and I made a decision to actually pull him out of school.
Okay.
That's a big deal. We put him on an online home program, an online program, and from there, because we were a little bit more flexible, he went to Spain, to Mallorca, to practice, to play tennis in Mental Academy. So he was there for about 2 months, and then came back and then went to the US, and because everything is online now.
Right.
He's just studying online, and he's actually in competition in the US right now. So
my goodness,
he's been able to kind of make things happen. We created a little team for him to go around with him. So he's set. So I have the two small ones here with me.
The two small ones.
Yeah, the two smaller ones. And
okay.
They're girls, so they were kind of good, but now with everything completely locked down, it's a little bit hard.
Okay, Ms. Bea, before anything else, before we continue, we will reintroduce our co-host as well. From Net 25, she is the international news reporter anchor in that
Hello.
in my
Hi,
former
CJ.
network. Hello, CJ.
Hi. I'm really starstruck right now. Hello,
I know.
Miss Bea.
That's the first thing I said. I was like, I'm so starstruck. She has a 21-year-old. Like, I can't even wrap my head around that. It's like,
Well, it's nice to have you on the show.
How?
Pinagsakan pa ako ng telepono for the benefit of viewers. Pinagsakan ng telepono ni CJ kaya tinatawagan ko siya.
Okay.
No. I was in another meeting.
No, I had your back, CJ. I would explain to the boys. She's a busy woman, We're busy
and
women.
I love you for that.
But yeah, oh my gosh. So Bea, I love that the support that you're giving to your children, despite the pandemic and in the sports aspect of it. But right now, I really want to dive into your life in sports. What age did you start gymnastics?
6.
6 years old. Wow.
ISM, actually.
Yeah, ISM. Any particular reason why you chose that sport?
Not anything in particular. I just had seen children, doing cartwheels and tumbling, and I wanted to fly as well. It was as simple as that. I wanted to attempt to fly.
Oh, that's a nice dream to have.
Attempt to fly. That should be on a shirt. I wanted to attempt to fly. Yeah. It's the attempt that matters.
I see.
So how many years were you in gymnastics, and did you adjust quickly, or did you have a hard time? Because I know you took home so many medals, you brought home so many medals for the Philippines, but was it a sport that you were easily adjusted to?
I don't think anyone really adjusts easily to sports, unless they could be naturals, but I didn't come that naturally to me. Yet at the same time, when you love something so much, you dive into it and you don't mind the many hours. And so early on in my gymnastics career, I enjoyed it, and I was already practicing like in 2 different locations. And by the age of 9, my parents had brought me to the US to start training.
My
So,
God.
Wow, in the span
Right.
of 3 years.
9.
but I had competed for the Philippine team at um, when I competed in the SEA Games when I was 8 years old.
Makes you think what we were doing during 8 years
Yeah,
old.
when you were 8, like.
But Miss Bea, this is my question right now. What is the secret sauce? I mean, how do you get kids to be that good at that age? Oh,
Or that focused.
yes.
I don't
Yeah.
think you get them to be that. They have to want to be that.
So you want at 6 years old when you started, you already wanted, or is the wanting to stay in the sport just came to you while training?
I wanted to be good. I wanted to
Ah,
and it's just it obviously at that age you're not looking big picture. I want to go to the Olympics.
exactly.
Right, right.
At least in my case, that wasn't the situation. It was just a matter of it was just the process of enjoying the sport and doing it and
Mm-hmm.
practicing and training hard. And that came, I don't want to say that came naturally, but again, like if you like something so much, you don't mind doing it. So
Mm-hmm.
that happened.
So it
At
was more of like just making sure you learned how to cartwheel. The next day you learn how to do, a round. Yeah, it's
and I kept doing it. And if there's extra time to practice, then I would practice longer. And it just happened that
Mm-hmm.
kind of like naturally, progressed quite quickly, actually.
Mm-hmm. So this attitude towards the sport or just anything to achieve something, most kids they don't have that at like 6 years old. Where does that come from for a Miss Bea Lucero?
I really don't know. I can't answer.
It's hard to remember.
No,
I'm actually thinking like, can you attribute that trait to one of your parents? Could be
no.
in your,
I think at that age, I mean, I have 4 children, and I think that even if I push them and push them and push them, they're never going to succeed unless they want it.
So you just really want, you just had it in you.
I give them the opportunities, like my parents gave me all the opportunities possible.
That's right. Yeah.
When they saw I was improving, I was competing already in the SEA Games at 8. They sent me to the US at 9. At 10 years old, I was living on my own. My mom had come back here, and I lived in a farm at the age of 10.
What?
How was that like?
Oh my goodness.
How was that like?
Wow.
So my mom had given me the option to come back home after
Oh.
a year together. So she took her master's while I was training. And then after the 1 year, she said, okay, I'm going to have to go back home. You have 2 other siblings. And I'm like, just leave me here. I'll be fine. So, I stayed in a dorm. And,
My goodness.
so you grow up pretty fast.
You did grow up really fast. I'm surprised because like at 10 years old, I was playing Chinese garter and I wasn't thinking about
My
competing.
jaw is on the floor.
And I was trying to beat everyone in Santa Cruzan, yung mga ganon. Ganon lang naman yung
So what was life like for a 10-year-old girl alone in the States, although you're staying in a dorm, but what was life like? Because you have to take care of everything at 10 years old.
Yeah. So I would do my own laundry. I didn't have to cook because there was food.
Mhm.
And most of the time I was training because we would train from 6 to 8 hours a day.
Oh, wow.
And then we'd
Wow.
go to school in the afternoon. And then come home, we'd be so tired, we just do homework and then maybe do the laundry and then eat and watch some TV maybe and then go to sleep again for another day of training in the morning. So, it was what it was. I mean,
Wow, the discipline.
yeah.
And,
but the
and here we
discipline-
are
Shocked.
trying to convince kids to do their chores.
So it's really different these days. No, but yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It makes you think like sports is really a significant factor for our youth because it doesn't just teach you, a skill. It's really a lifestyle,
Mhm.
something you carry on until you're, till you're old.
I was telling Ernest and Brian before we had gotten on, I said, they said, so your kids are into sports. And I said, yeah, it's a lifestyle for us. So all of them have to do sports. I mean, just because to be healthy, and learn the disciplines and all of that. And there's time after school. So that's what we do. We, everyone does their own sports, but to what level? Now that I can, that is their call. Now, if they be uh, high school varsity team, if they want to be college,
Mm-hmm.
NCAA college team, if they want to be an international,
Right.
athlete or
Right.
an Olympian. That's all up to them because I cannot push that.
Mm-hmm.
But I can expose them to a non-negotiable of having sports in their life.
I love that. How that's a non-negotiable.
Yeah,
That should be in every.
if even if it's no matter what it is,
Yeah.
I'm not choosing their sports. They're choosing their.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just kind of natural that my husband plays tennis, so
Mm-hmm.
all
Ah.
four of them play tennis. My husband plays golf. They all play golf.
Mm-hmm.
So their exposure is obviously what the family does. I mean, I don't do
Mm-hmm.
that. I don't do the tennis and the golf. I watch them, but I do
Or
other.
you can.
Yes, I could, but I enjoy my walks. See, so I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy my walks and I enjoy like doing like whatever kind of classes. They don't want to do that because they think that's boring, so that's fine. But there needs to be some sort of sport,
Some sort of movement. Yeah.
some sort of movement,
Yeah.
and then they take it. And wherever they take it, I'll be supportive. But I also give them all the tools, and
Mm-hmm.
I open as many doors for them to excel if that's what they wish to do.
I
And
love
think
that. I have to say I really appreciate how you are as a parent, where you're not the one who steps over. You just give them what they need
Yeah.
and allow them to choose for themselves, whether it's
And
one or
then,
two sports.
mm-hmm.
And then
And then help them if they decide, to go one way.
Yeah, no, because really sports, I think, transcends just school. It goes, into families
Goes
and goes
beyond.
into, life lessons. It just
I think
really
that
transcends.
marriage-
But
I think that it helps marriage just because, my husband and I are both athletes in our own different way. And we just know you stick through things. It's just one of those things. It's a non-negotiable. We stick to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that as simple as it sounds, and it's funny how, people think, how do you compare that to like a marriage? Like I said, it is what it is.
No, I understand.
Mhm.
I understand that because marriage is work, and in a sport, you're used to sticking to something. Marriage is
never
similar.
give
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Love that. But like, I know you were in gymnastics. Is there any memorable moment about your gymnastics career that you might want to share with us? It probably hasn't seen the light of day in your career, hasn't been told in public. Anything memorable that we could learn from or something?
So many memorable moments in gym. I mean, I was in it for 9 years,
Yeah.
and I was
Mm-hmm.
competing internationally for like 8 of those 9 years. So I remember my first competition for the Philippine team was when I had just turned. No, sorry, I was going to turn 8.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Turned 8.
so 2 years after, yeah.
And then a year after I competed in the Southeast Asian Games, but a year before that I had competed in Singapore, and I remember traveling with the Philippine team without my parents. So that was really something that kind of stuck to me. I mean, I
Okay.
had a lot of growing up to do at a very early age.
Who acted as like your guardian or parent when you're competing, because you still need some assistance there, you still need someone to play a parent.
I don't know. Remember, this is the team. I was just with the team.
Did you feel like
Most of them were older, so I just kind of went wherever they went.
Okay, we're going here.
Yeah,
I'm going
so
here.
it was like an adventure for you. It was
Yeah.
like a just a game for you then.
It's like going to the playground for us.
Yeah.
Know what we know now about
Uh-huh.
everything that's gone on. I think that I would have been allowed,
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just life now is, as we can see, just
So much
not-
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Brian?
I just wanted to ask, being at that early age, Ma'am Bea, did that sort of like push you to mature faster?
Oh, definitely.
Kasi with all those things,
I had no choice but to, and at that time, like when I was in the US, living on my own, I remember when you get a phone call and they'd say, "Will you accept?" I don't know if you guys remember that. Will
Oh
you
yeah.
phone call from.
collect call or
Yeah. Do you accept? Yeah.
But then I remember those calls. Yet at the same time, I kind of created my own little bubble in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it was a comfort zone, and every time I'd get calls from Manila,
Yeah.
I'd kind of be pulled out of that bubble and would just
Oh.
kind of come back into that little zone where I was in, where I was just making everything work.
I
So
love it. The zone. The way you
uh,
said zone, I saw your face. It was just, you could tell it. It's like you're just in your bubble and you're so focused.
so yeah, I mean, it somehow worked.
Mm-hmm. Well, Miss Bea, what were the moments, you were a kid. So one way or another, that would manifest. So were there moments that, it just showed that you're a kid? Because right now we're talking about you as a 10-year-old and just focusing on these things and acting as an adult. Where was the kid?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it manifested in anything. Maybe it did. I wasn't aware of, and there was never like I never had issues with it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Didn't
Yeah.
play as much. That's definitely true. I didn't play as much. Play in terms of, play with dolls or play with.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do a lot of that. So I'm not so sure, to tell you the truth.
But it doesn't seem
Wow,
like
so
it
it-
matters that much. Yeah.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
you
yeah.
seem to be very happy with how it turned out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Miss
Always
Bea.
something to lose. I mean, you can't be at a certain level and have it all.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a
Right.
nice,
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah,
That's a nice truth.
That's true. It's always you know, trade off.
Sacrifice,
Yeah,
yeah.
trade off.
One thing that you have to sacrifice. Okay, Ernest, you were
yeah,
gonna
Miss
say
Bea.
something.
This is my question. When did it sink into you that this is bigger than it is? I mean,
Oh,
this
right.
is
Yeah,
not
that's
this
true.
is not
Yeah.
normal. This is something phenomenal. When did it sink into you?
Well, phenomenal is very relative. Like for me, national team, it came naturally. Like it didn't come naturally, but it just was the progression, the natural
Mhm.
progression. Whereas for someone else, I mean, it really, that's a very relative to what,
Yeah, what phenomenon?
there's
Yeah.
no one particular point where I said, oh my gosh. I mean, I remember competing in the Olympics and then winning and then coming down, like, hey, that was cool. But it wasn't like, I, I don't know. It's just what you're trained to do every single day. And I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have day offs,
Mm.
once a week. So so, when it's just natural, it's not, I'm sure that all of those athletes in the Olympics or wherever, those top level athletes, they're still people. They eat the same thing. They do,
Yeah.
well, they'll probably be eating healthier, but meaning I don't think they wake up and say, "Gosh, I'm so good."
Yeah. No, gosh, I'm so good.
I never did that. Definitely,
Yeah.
but I did feel the pressure, and it kind of, at a certain point when I did feel the pressure, I I didn't enjoy it as much.
Oh, I see.
Mhm.
Okay. At what age did you feel the pressure though?
Towards the end of my career, I think. I mean, I had still felt the pressure, but it was, there's always pressure, but I
Mm-hmm.
was very
Mm-hmm.
manageable. Like I felt like I could manage it, and um, I think that I had gone to the '87 Southeast Asian Games in Jakarta,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
for this one particular moment when the press had asked me if they could take a photo of me with an with a gold medal around my neck already, so that, because at that time, you know how hard it
Oh.
could we take a picture of you with your gold medal around your neck,
Mm-hmm.
so that
Mm-hmm.
when we find out, we'll print it right away.
Oh my.
And I remember just saying yes because they were there for the interview, and I didn't know how to say no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Oh my
uh,
goodness. Yeah,
I,
that's
but that really, that struck a chord for me, and I think that
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, right before the competition, I kind of like had a meltdown and I cried, and I felt like the pressure was just too much for me,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
especially because of what they did. But Yeah. So after I had won like the first day, I had won one gold. I was like, okay, like
That's done. Yeah.
just enjoy now the rest of the competition. But that pressure was, I think, it wasn't making things fun anymore.
It's a little too much. My goodness. That was like, it's like an advanced photo.
Yeah, it was.
My goodness. What?
Well, it does happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, in media.
Not from you though, Brian, right? You know better.
Yep. I'd rather wait and support the athlete than do that.
Exactly.
I guess at the time, it was really difficult for them to like get photos in right away, and
it was a different time.
Yeah, it was more of who was first to print.
Technologically speaking, it was a different time.
Technical difficulties, that's right. But why the switch to Taekwondo, Bea?
Yeah, and you're not done with one sport. You just
that's why I'm trying to get to the sport that So why the switch to Taekwondo?
I had done gymnastics for 9 years, and at that certain point, I was supposed to be going to the Olympics in '88 gymnastics, and because of politics and things just didn't work out so well. And at that point, I was really tired already. My dad's like, "You want to stop?" And I said, "Yeah, I'd love to stop already. I think I'm
okay."
So I stopped, but my body was used to so much training. So as much as it was good for me to rest, I'd gained quite a bit of weight. And so I hadn't done anything for like maybe a year, maybe a year. And then I said, I need to get into like something again. And I didn't want to go to the gym. I wanted sport. And so I said, let me look at the sports that are offered and see where I can actually, use a little bit of my gymnastics, my strength and flexibility to kind of, something that I really wanted to do. So I had seen that Taekwondo was like one of the sports that was done, and I thought, it'd be nice to join that. So then it was still in JP Rizal, which is very close to ISM. So I started there, and then after like 2 weeks, I started going every day.
And then you just enjoyed it, and decided to be really good at it.
And then I made the national team after 6 months.
My goodness.
Okay, before we really get into that, I just want to go back to that moment when you decided, okay, I'm not gonna do gymnastics anymore. Because that was did you see gymnastics as a career? Because by that time, you were at the age, okay, what do I do with my life? There was no moment like that for you?
School. I was never stopped school for sports. The only time I stopped school was in college for one semester, the semester right before the Barcelona Olympics, because I wanted to dedicate like every moment to that. So I just stopped for one semester. When I came back, went back into school, and then just finished off. So school has always been
that's amazing.
Priority.
Just like switching from one video game to another.
It's like, okay, I think I'm gonna go to Taekwondo now. Just be good at that. But yeah.
Okay, back to Taekwondo now.
But I have a question. But when you shifted to Taekwondo, you didn't do them simultaneously. You were a gymnast and a Taekwondo. So you shifted. And
after a year and a half or so.
A year and a half.
Okay.
No one stopped you from the gymnastics side. No, stay in gymnastics. No, we're gonna win.
Your coaches.
There was no future for me already in terms of I wanted to go to the Olympics and I couldn't go, so I wasn't going to wait another 4 years. So no one stopped me. It was my decision to make.
Okay, who was your first instructor in JP Rizal? This is the I want to know.
I don't remember, but Mr. Hong came in quite early in the game.
Yeah, always. Yep.
He came in quite early in the game. By the second week, the reason why I'd made the national team after 6 months was by the second week when I was going every day. I was training every day because I was also training like the regular beginner kind of classes. And then Mr. Hong was saying, train with the Philippine team. See how you do.
Oh my goodness.
Actually, coming from gym,
I was training twice as much as everyone felt like. But I mean, of course, everyone did their own training as well, aside from that. But I'm just in my mind, Like I just trained quite a bit.
But coming from gymnastics, I mean, the transition was easier, I'm assuming, because you're
Yeah.
already flexible.
Yes, and
Mm-hmm.
also there's something about sports where your your mindset
Mm-hmm.
um is developed, and that takes you through life. I mean, that's not just for one sport. That's not just gymnastics, but any sport or anything I get into, I kind of bring that same mindset because that's just the way it is already.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I, in fact, in the beginning, I thought, oh, they only train like an hour and a half or 2 hours. I was so used to like so much more that that's why it was natural for me to train like in two different classes and you know just get, and plus I was also a beginner, so like I just did it. It was fun. It was a new sport.
It says a
Miss
lot.
Bea, mm-hmm,
Sorry, go
go
ahead,
ahead,
CJ. Go ahead, go
Alex.
ahead. I know. I was about to say it says a lot about just showing up because you were showing up for the beginners class, and Mr. Hong was saying, "Why don't you go train with the Philippine national team?" I guess it just says a lot about grabbing opportunities and showing up and being there if you really want it. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was really something new, and I guess I was looking for something new as well at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I mean, Mr. Hong, he's a fantastic, obviously. So he's like he's like a circuit father for anyone who does
Yep.
taekwondo. And
Mm-hmm.
he came in and kind of just like took care of me. So
Took you
um,
under his wing.
yeah, yeah, and he saw that I liked it, and of course, I was in an advantage because I had the flexibility and the strength already, somewhere hidden in that in the body. So that was also an advantage.
Okay. Well, Miss Bea, it was pretty easy for you to go into gymnastics and then transition to taekwondo. But for most athletes, especially here in the Philippines, they cannot really put in that much focus on their sport. That's why it's pretty hard for us to um, have homegrown talent here in the Philippines because you have to choose between making it a career or just not doing it at all, because it's a hard balance because you have to have a second job
Yeah.
for most athletes here in
Mhm.
the Philippines. So
And sometimes
for
you
you,
gotta earn. You
mhm,
gotta earn.
Yes.
you still gotta earn, right? Unlike when you're in PBA or when you're in NBA, when you're a golfer, Tiger Woods, that's their career. Being in sports is their career. But for you it wasn't like that. You're probably, I can say, you're one of the lucky ones. You had the support of your family, you had the support of other people. But was there any moment when you thought, this is not the career, or did you have a backup plan?
It was never my career to begin
Oh,
with.
it wasn't. Okay.
I was always in school. I did not stop school,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
it was just on the side. I mean, relatively speaking, like
Yeah,
in a
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
Mm-hmm.
I always had school, so I was never put in the situation where I had to choose between my
Mm-hmm.
academics and my sport,
Mm-hmm.
or making a living and my sport, because my
Okay,
sport
okay.
is there um, aside from my academics,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
only for that one semester, like I had mentioned before going
Mm-hmm.
to the Olympics. But when I came back to the Olympics, I told my dad, after this one semester, I go to Barcelona, I compete, I come back and I stop completely. And that was the last sparring session
Mm.
I've ever had in the Olympics. I've never
When you
gone to the gym to spar again. I've never even worked out in terms of taekwondo since.
It was just school, school, school.
It was just school, school, school. Yeah. No, I mean, and I I don't know if this is good or bad, but then I get so emotionally and physically into a sport that when
Mm-hmm.
I stop, I don't look back, and I look back to appreciate, but
mm-hmm.
I yearn for more because I'm emotionally exhausted as well. When I
Mm.
was doing taekwondo, I mean, I know it sounds really funny and sounds a little bit cuckoo-ish, but like I would my favorite food was Korean food. I would sleep
Oh my
and
goodness.
look like, Korean. I was just all about, you know, Korea and it was Taekwondo this and everything had to do with it. I dive
You really just immersed yourself in the culture and
and I just immersed myself into the sport and everything around it. That when I'm ready to stop, which I'm not saying is healthy, okay? At a high level, it's good.
Yeah.
But not for the long term. So it's not like you enjoy it for many years. Because by the time I say stop, like I'm done, I'm so done. It's like
wow.
So it depends on what you want from the sport. Like my husband always says, we both have different takes on sports. He says you're so competitive, you like to do it and you like to go all out. He likes to do it to be with people and
which is fine either way.
He'll do. When I had met him, he would do 3 different sports a week, and I'm like, why don't you just do one and get better? Not the same. We reasons and learning that you can use sports for many things and for many ways has been it's always a good thing.
Yeah, I agree. Sports is always a good thing.
Sports is always a good thing, and like what I tell my kids, it's where you want to go. So my daughter, my third child, is a more social tennis player and a more social golfer. So she just enjoys doing it, but more like my husband, but I mean not to compete. My fourth is a more competitive golfer.
Oh,
I mean,
so more like you.
Somewhat. Somewhat. My older two are also playing, tennis at a high level. So my eldest, like I had mentioned, is in college playing college tennis in the U.S. Then my second wants to also go and play college U.S. tennis. So it depends. We'll see with my fourth how things end up. But it really, there's no right and no wrong.
I have a question during your competitive years when you started Taekwondo. I remember that very well when you started Taekwondo. The number of women who were competing in the sport was limited. Okay, so I'm just curious. With the limited number of women taking up the Taekwondo, did you spar with any? Were you forced to spar with the guys?
Yeah.
So did they take it lightly or did they really go hard with you? Because when they put a girl in front of me before, I did not want to kick.
Oh.
Ganyan kabait si Brian.
No, I don't know. I didn't want to.
Maybe in the beginning they don't want to, and when they start getting beaten up, maybe they feel.
Yep, that's what I was just about to say.
This girl means business.
Same experience also. Yeah.
But when they start getting beaten, they don't want to get beaten by a girl.
By a girl. So.
They had to fight back.
And they fight back. But yeah, no, I would, and I'd appreciate it because, of course, there's no kind of. It's always good to practice it at a high level at all times. And
would you say you were the lone dominant female Taekwondo gym during that time? Because to be honest, the names I remember from the 80s, I don't really recall that much. Even LaSalle, when I was with LaSalle, that's a problem we had. We didn't have female fighters. All of us were guys.
And it's not a sport that, kids or young women would really think about when they think of sports.
True.
Maybe, yeah. It just happened. It was like an organic thing where I just
it's like, I want to try this.
Yeah, and it's convenient. It's in JP Rizal, and I go to school in ISM, and it's just around the corner. It was convenient. So and it looked like fun, and it really was. So just worked out.
Okay, Miss Bea. There is someone here in social media that would like to greet you right now. His name is Ron De Los Reyes. Good to see Bea Lucero, the bronze medalist for Taekwondo in the 1992 Barcelona Olympics. I covered her during the 1987 SEA Games in Jakarta. She won 2 golds there. She was my fellow commentator in the 1988
Mm.
Seoul Olympics.
Hi,
So,
Ron. How are
regards,
you?
Sir Ron is watching us. And again, we would like everyone in social media, if you have a question for Miss Bea, please do jot it down. We will try to read it later. But anyway, ladies, take over. It's Women's Month. We're giving it away.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
Women's Month. Oh.
Okay, we Brian said, we didn't have a lot of women doing that kind of sport back then. I just want to ask if it's okay, because we're seeing now a lot of documentaries, and just recently, we had this case of a coach abusing the young ones. Was there any moment where you did not not feel safe being around men in this men dominated sport?
In Taekwondo, no, I never felt that.
Mm-hmm.
Even in gymnastics, I
It
never.
was really a safe place for you then.
Yeah, or in my mind.
Mm-hmm,
In my
mm-hmm,
mind,
mm-hmm.
I mean, I was also not. I think at that age, I wasn't aware of everything that was going on. But for
Mm-hmm.
me, I mean, I no issues.
Well, good for you then. Good for you then, because we want women to feel safe in whatever sport they choose to be in. So good for you then.
Okay, Alex, anything more on, yeah.
I guess I would say because like given that it's Women's Month, but I really don't want to focus on that too much. It's really more about
Mm-hmm.
what can you say to the public about sports and how it transcends gender,
Yeah.
Yeah.
aspects in life. Like if I were to ask you, who is sports for? Like,
I think sports is
yeah.
for everyone. I don't think that it's for any particular gender. Obviously, it's not for any particular um, social group, or I mean, not even particular nationality. I mean, it it unifies everyone. So yeah, so it just unifies everyone. So that's a good thing.
Yep. I agree. Absolutely agree. I just really wanted to hear it from Bea Lucero to everyone.
About that,
Oh,
hear him.
Okay, Miss Bea, this is my question now. After Taekwondo, was there an attempt for a third sport? I mean, maybe mixed martial arts or whatever. Did there any was there any sport that captured your
Yeah,
attention after that?
actually, that's funny that you ask because I always forget about it. But there really was. I mean, um, obviously, I love sports, right? And so after Taekwondo, I continued on. I worked, got married, had kids. After my second child, uh, I wanted to do another sport, and I thought, you know what? I wonder if I can train for the Southeast Asian Games in Manila, because that would have
Mm.
been like my third
oh my.
sport then in the Southeast Asian Games in Manila. So I said, hmm, let me take a look at all this, and just kind of like went through all these different sports. I'm like, let's just give it a shot. I mean, what's the worst that can happen, right? And I just looked, and then I saw wushu.
Oh.
Oh, yes.
And it's something that you
Yes.
can do with
Yes.
martial arts and flexibility.
Yeah, I know. And I was gonna do wushu, not the full fighting, but the
The
dance.
forms.
It's
Yeah, the
Yeah.
dance.
dance. Yeah.
So I thought, okay, that would be really good. I would kind of bring both worlds together and try for a third
Oh
sport.
my gosh.
I already had my second child, and I remember I was still nursing him. And after that, I said, okay, am I ready for Rizal Memorial? Let's let's see.
Am I ready for result? I
That,
love it.
that's another aspect of
It's
the
like most moms would say, "Am I ready to go back to work?" It's no. Am I ready for Rizal Memorial?
anyway. I went. I started doing it, and I had my eyes set. I thought, okay, let's try to do this, and I just kind of kept it really low profile. I didn't let anyone know. It was just my husband who was supporting me with
Oh
it.
my gosh, you did it!
Yeah, so I did. So I was going to Rizal Memorial, and the funny thing though was after maybe the 6th month, and I was improving already, and I was already training for to make the national team. But it was harder for me. It was harder for me, not just physically, but my mindset was so different already. Like even if I was still training hard, part of my mind was home because I had 2 children at home,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't put them to bed because training was at like 6 o'clock, 6 to 8 or 6 to 8:30, something like that. I couldn't put them to bed. It's further from where I live. I didn't live around the corner from Rizal Memorial. So it took a lot out of me. And I still just continued on. And I said, okay, once I try out, and if I make it good, I compete in the SEA Games. And if I don't, then done, But I kind of culminating to that national games, I knew I was a different person, and I knew that was the last of it, because I knew that wasn't me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was done. I mean, and I think I needed to hit that third sport to find closure, because
beautiful. That's beautiful.
It's really a natural high. Sports is a natural high for me, at least. I guess it's the competitiveness, it's the goal setting, and the achieving of a certain goal.
Yes.
I'm trying to actually, what I really wanted to do was I kind of looked at those sports right before the Southeast Asian Games, when they said it was going to be in the Philippines, because I felt like I could push sports to a different level again.
Yeah.
I could hopefully bring pride to the country,
Mm.
and hopefully, like, kind of bring exposure, and it's in our hometown, so home country, so why not? But then the funniest thing happened. I guess I just kept it so low profile. As I was going to compete in the national team, so I had a partner, and we had a whole
Routine.
routine set. The association had brought, I mean, it's quite controversial actually, and I don't really talk about it. But anyway, they had brought 2 Chinese girls who didn't even speak English, and gave them Philippine passports.
Oh my. Oh my.
So I had gotten second place with my partner, and they had won. So then they had the national team. And then after a month and a half or 2 months, they compete in the SEA Games, and I just kind of like let it all go. Yeah. So I just kind of let it go, and then they did win. And right after they won, the very next day or 2 days after, they flew back to China. Because you can't even interview them. You couldn't even interview them because they didn't speak anything.
Because
they couldn't speak a word of it.
So
that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking, but at the same time, I've gotten hit by politics and sports
before, yeah.
And my life was so full that didn't hurt me as much as I mean, of course I cried for maybe like 3 days, 2 days.
Oh my.
And then after that I was super okay.
Sometimes you just need a good cry.
With that, and I thought, okay, I guess it's not gonna happen.
Okay,
I heard about
okay, go
that.
ahead.
I heard about that politics and sports from Bea, but I'm not gonna name who. Someone told me.
Yeah.
In a recent interview.
But thank you for sharing that with us, Bea. Like that's
I just really, I guess and like some of the higher ups knew, like and they actually, when they heard about it, they had called me and said, Bea, no, you're gonna be on the team. We're gonna fix this. And I said, no, if I don't have the support of the association I'm competing for, if they're really wanting this and I don't have their support, I'm not going to be competing for them. No.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, well,
I need support. So.
Okay, Miss Bea, you've mentioned politics failing you twice in this interview. First was with gymnastics.
Yeah.
And then this one. Is there any part of you that, wants to be part of any organization just to change things around? Because Politics, man, it's ruining everything.
My husband does that. My husband's incredibly passionate, and I watch him do it. And sometimes I'm in awe with him because he's got so much work. The last thing he needs is all the politics and sport.
Yeah.
He still dives into it. And I say, tell me why are you diving into? He's like, you know what? If I can't change it, no one can change it. Like I can make a difference. And
I
I'm
love
like,
that.
bravo to you, go for it. And I just watch him and I'm in awe, literally in awe of the amount of effort, time, and a lot of money he puts into the different sports, despite all of the politics. And but it is true, without people like him that put in the money, it's hard. Sports tough. And if you're not privileged enough to be able to travel and compete and gain that exposure, it'll be difficult to move up.
Yep.
So I just watch him. You cannot get me into. Usually, I don't even really do many interviews. So,
yeah, we rarely see. I mean, we want to see you.
I don't really do very many interviews. I don't. I live a very quiet life, with the children now, and I like it that way. I like it that way. But well, things are on Zoom now. It's just much easier.
No, I guess it's one way of telling athletes or student athletes the importance of staying in school and making that a priority, despite how good you are. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. And to have a backup plan, I guess.
Ernest, I think you should read that comment of Gab Ferreras. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Question for Miss Bea is I've seen in the paper recently na may isang 6-year gymnast from Bulacan na sumunod sa yapak mo after winning the individual all-around title sa virtual competition. At the same time, she also takes up Taekwondo lessons. Idol at inspirasyon kanya. Her name nga pala is Jan Mikaela Karikitan. Ano bang words of advice mo upang lalo pa niya ma-excel ang kanyang career at her very young age?
Well, if she's enjoying it, she's already on the right path, right? Words of wisdom, I don't really have that much. If you like it, continue training, enjoy it as much as you can, and hard work. There's no replacement for hard work.
Simple as that, diba? Simple as
Love
that.
that.
And may bumabati
There's really no secret.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's hard work.
I agree.
And from Carmelita De Leon, watching you, Bea, and with Lenny, God bless you and your family. Yeah, may mga bumabate.
And Miss Susan, meron pa isa, Ernest.
Susan, from Susan, David Talingting, Bea Lucero still a big star in gymnastics. O, diba?
Will always be.
Will always be. Yeah, that's forever.
Tapos sa Sports on Air naman, si Nash Racela, hi titas and titos.
Ay, nako.
That's not me. That's not for me. You're on the wrong page, man.
No, but it's so great to see you, Bea. Like you when I see you, it's like your life is full. You're very happy, very happy.
Yeah.
Sports is yes, sports is a big part of your life, but it's only one part of your life, and that's I think what people have to realize is that athletes, they are human beings, have a life like us.
Okay, Miss Bea, this is my question right now. Is that you're now a mom, your kids are into sports. Okay, now is there any the stage mom inside of you wanting to come out?
Oh yeah, because you're very competitive.
You've been in the sport. You know what it takes to be successful. Is there the inside Bea Lucero-Lhuillier wanting to come out and say, "Hey, you do this, do that, something like that."
Beauty of it is, I don't play tennis and I don't play golf, and I do it on purpose because I don't even know how they're.
Oh.
I don't want to be correcting them.
Yeah.
Or be better than them because you're just good at everything.
But if I know so much, it'll be harder to sit and just watch. So when
that's right.
I can't coach them, but I can see the effort. I'm not seeing the technique because
Mm-hmm.
I'm lost with that. But I can see the effort and the fighting spirit, and the tenacity they have to want
Mm-hmm.
to win.
Mhm.
So I kind of like, yeah, I zone in on that.
You
But
know, I
It
need to
was
take a
I
purposeful.
do, I do,
I need to take a page from Bea with that. I just, yep,
I
note to
do
self.
see what I actually, because it does, if you're a parent and you're a hands-on parent and you're watching your
Yep,
kids all the time,
yep.
it does become hard. So what I do, I mean, I have my own little tactics that work for me. So it depends on each parent, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when I start to like, especially when they're competing, I think that what's difficult with tennis as opposed to golf. Golf, I'm really lost, and I don't walk
Hmm.
18 months, so they're really off on their own. I mean, I really just let them go. Whereas in tennis,
Uh-huh.
that I watch, um, what I find uh, difficult is when the match gets really close.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, I feel like I'm anxious, and I stop, I
Okay.
stop, and I just leave. I leave.
Oh,
Oh,
I leave
wow.
for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I breathe, and then I come back and I sit. Like they're like, you can't go, you've got to watch us. I'm like, no.
I
Wow.
can't deal with
Even
this right now.
And I go for like 10 minutes and I come back and I say, okay, what's happening? And if I can't,
Mhm.
and then I always take a more than one step back, or maybe two or three, and I, you know what, just to be in this position where I see my children in a competitive way is a blessing already.
Yes.
Whether he
Yes.
Yeah.
wins or loses, he's learning
Mm-hmm.
about.
Mhm.
So if he loses, that's good for him.
Yeah.
And if he
So even at
I understand. Yeah, I
uh-huh.
understand what you're saying. It's yeah.
loses, he's going to learn that he can't have everything in life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No matter what kind of coaching um, no matter if I get a national coach or whatever, you put him in, nice Nike shoes or whatever, and he's
Mm-hmm.
competing against someone who doesn't have any of that, and he loses, all the more I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like it puts them back to
Mm.
reality where
Amen.
Uh-huh.
none
Well,
of
Amen.
So so
yeah.
even so even at being a stage mom, you gotta be the best.
No, I
Being a
think it's
stage
just
mom
it's
is
a lot
already the
of
third sport of Bea.
I know.
no,
The fourth, actually, the
I
fourth.
think yeah, I know. I think Bea just she really gets it. She got the best of sports, really. Like it's the life lessons, really.
it
That's what
is.
you get. Yeah, that's what you
It's
get.
really, I don't walk
Yeah,
around telling people, oh, I got this and I that. I
yeah,
no, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Kids don't look at me like, you know, they, oh, this is, you won this, you won that. It doesn't really matter.
yeah.
Not,
Mhm.
it's
It
done.
just made you. Yeah, it's just,
Well, but it's not really what you want, or it's really the journey that
Mm-hmm.
brought me
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
there.
Yep.
That's what I take with me everywhere I go.
Okay.
None of your kids took up. I mean, gymnastics or taekwondo. No one
I
tried.
I don't. Oh, taekwondo. My son, my eldest, took taekwondo for a little bit. He didn't like it much, and then my
Okay.
daughter, who is now 14, did a little bit of gymnastics, but she enjoyed it for a little bit, but then started playing what sport? Oh, she started dancing, and then after dancing, she started playing golf and then tennis. I
Mm.
mean, just kind of mix things up. So
Which is good. Yeah. Well, more sports. More. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The more sports you do, the more you know what you like and what you don't like.
Yep.
If there was a Sea Games a sport about parenting, Bea would like implement it.
You know
Oh,
what?
as well.
No, I am not. I am far from a perfect parent. I don't think there are perfect parents.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Definitely.
I really just wake up and I try to be kind to myself, especially when
Mhm.
it's tough bringing up children. I don't think any parent can say that it's easy raising children. So
True.
I have four of them, and there have been really tough times, and I think tougher times raising children
Kids.
than it's in any of my sports career.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
because this one is like my heart and soul. As they leave the house, my heart goes along with them.
That's true.
Ah.
That's
With
true.
taekwondo, I stop, and then the next day
It's there. Yeah.
I don't think about it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm attached, but not the same way, obviously, as a child.
Mhm.
Having a child, But so definitely I'm not an awesome parent, but I do ask my children to, you know, help pray that I become a good parent. So what I'm doing,
It's working. It's working. Trust me.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
It's working.
giving them love, right? That's
Yeah.
base.
Mhm.
That's all you can do.
Everything comes from love, and and I also learn how to just, my husband, just be kind to yourself. I mean, as long as I'm kind to myself as well, and think about, I have no control. I mean, I have, sorry, not that I don't have control. I have very limited control, especially as we get older. So I guess you guys will learn that more when your kids get older.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
This has been a really fun interview. Okay, go ahead, Ernest.
Okay. When was the time that, of course, to your kids, you are mom. Okay. To others, you're
Mhm.
Bea Lucero. But when did that time that your kids knew what
Who
is
their mom
behind
is. Yeah.
Bea Lucero
For
is?
the longest time, I think they were really oblivious to it. Um, like I just, even my Olympic medal was just in a closet. Um, so I never had hung anything. And then I had fixed up our house about maybe 6 years ago. 5, 6.
Mhm.
We've been in this house for like 20 years. About 5, 6 years ago, I had fixed it up and I had seen it, and I said, I might as well just frame everything because so nothing gets lost. So
Yeah.
I framed it, and then when it was nicely framed, I thought, let's just put it up in one wall. So not for anyone else to see, but it's just in like where I have a little office. So I put that up, and I'm actually not even sure if I want to keep it up. But anyway, it's up
No,
anyway.
keep it up. Keep it up.
I think it's
But
it's yeah. It's
I,
good to have it up. It's
it's
tribute.
not
Yeah.
it's not for anything really. Did they ever realize? No, I mean, I think what's difficult for them is um whenever they go around, especially, well, whether in the sporting world,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're playing tennis or they're playing golf or they're playing whatever sport, and someone comes up to them and says, "Oh, wow, you must be good because your mom is this and that and this."
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
think it's quite unfair to them because I'm not asking them to be, anything in particular. But
Mhm.
so I feel that maybe there could be a bit of pressure there, but then that gave them a little an awareness at least of
Mm-hmm.
who I was, because
Mm-hmm.
I never showed them like videos and stuff. So it's not.
Oh, okay.
And I don't like make it a point to show photos or anything of the sort. If they see it, they see it. But I don't even I don't even know if they've seen like my full album. It's just
Mhm.
been part of it. But and then yeah, so I pressure, yeah, I guess a little bit of pressure here and there, but it's nothing I can do. I can't change myself.
Mhm.
That's right. That's true.
Okay, well, I want to touch a little bit on more on this topic because I've met a lot of it with this age of social media, right? I've met a lot of people where they go, one of the first things they tell you when they meet you is, "This is my mom, this is my dad, this is who my parents are." Just to add to the I don't know, credibility or their value, social value. Are your kids or any of your kids have they used that? I mean, you just said you're not really talking to them about it. They don't.
If they are, I'd probably put them in um, not that I've heard of, but if they, if you ever find out they do, give me a call, and I will definitely put them in.
Yeah, yeah, because you hear it a lot with son of a politician. Oh, my dad is a congressman. My dad is a mayor. Blah blah blah. And I don't know. It just does not sit well with me. I hope your kids don't do that on social media.
On social media, definitely not. They're not huge
Hmm.
on social media, so I know that
Hmm. Keep it that way. Keep it that way.
they're not huge on social media. So
Hmm.
if
Okay,
that's
that's good to hear.
then I'm still good.
Oh yeah. I love this interview, Ernest. Thank you for making
Yeah.
me part of this interview.
Actually, medyo nag-overtime na nga tayo kay Ma'am
Oo
Bea.
nga.
Oh yeah.
The interview, the hour went so fast. No, but anyway, ladies, you might as well ask your final questions. Then let's wrap this up.
I think that was mine. I think that was my social media.
No, I'm good. I'm just yeah. loving this interview with Bea, learning a lot also, as a parent. So thank you. Yeah, thank you for all the advice.
Mm-hmm. And the way you compartmentalize, like, okay, this is just sport, this is my family, this is myself, this is my schooling. There's a lot to learn from that. Relationship, we can apply that too to relationships.
I'm not giving anyone advice. I don't know.
I know, but we're learning a lot.
I don't know if I have everything in order. All I can do is share from my experience, and that's
right.
it.
Yeah,
we are learning a lot.
I'm literally just taking pages from your experience.
If you learn from that, then by all means take everything. And if
there's a lot
better experience, then by all means I would. But advice, I don't think I'm necessarily the best.
Oh, one last thing, Miss Bea. You look so great. You look so good.
Yeah, I was like, she has a 21-year-old.
What's
like,
the secret for being?
I know. I'm sorry. I'm just being a girl
old.
right now. I'm just being a girl right now. Is this all because you have peace of mind?
I don't know. I mean, I throw in a workout every day.
Okay.
Whatever kind of workout. I'm not at. I do some meditation. I go to mass every day. I find time for myself. And like I said, I had mentioned this a while ago. I think especially during the pandemic, because we have less control of what's going on. I mean, I really take time for myself, and take time to, again, just be kind to myself.
Okay.
And mind you, ladies, the background is not fake. That's not a green screen.
I know.
It's natural.
That looks like
a lot
a
of
place that
green.
you would love to hang out.
Well, thank you so much, Miss Bea. Learned a lot.
So much. Yeah, it was great talking to you. Really.
Okay, Miss Bea, this is the last question, and you might find this funny, but of course, since we are celebrating Women's Month, and we just watched Miss Grand International yesterday. And that's to Sam Bernardo, and of course, I would like to ask you this, like a beauty pageant host.
Oh, please, I am not a beauty pageant host. Or can I answer like a beauty pageant girl? So, I'm not the right person.
I'm definitely sure if you did, you would win. Okay, go ahead, Ernest.
Right.
What's your question? I'm scared.
This is the general question. I think CJ can answer this quite easily.
Not about my experiences, but about all of those other like. I'm not very good at this.
Yeah, CJ might coach you on this question, which is what is an essence of a woman?
What? I hate that question, by the way,
that
Ernest.
is like
I guess taking over from here on.
Ernest, that's the question that I hate getting the most.
If you have to ask Ernest,
if you are gonna ask,
if you have to ask, you'll never get it. You'll never understand.
No. Ernest, I suggest you watch the whole interview and you'll get your answer to that.
There you go. Maybe we could just get a summary of it. But anyway.
No, that's a funny question, Ernest. That's a funny question.
Anyway,
well, thank you, Miss Bea.
Thank you so much, Miss Bea, for spending time with us. I mean, Brian was already hungry before this interview.
Because I promised Ma'am Bea only 1 hour and you're going beyond it.
Okay.
Up on that, okay? And Ernest, you interview my kids.
We will.
Yes, we will.
Alex, CJ, if you're into it, my kids, the boys, at least the 2 older ones, have their own passion project. And
Definitely.
We would love to.
Pinoy, if you go Google it, it's Pinoy tennis trainers.
Pinoy tennis trainers.
Yeah,
Okay.
Pinoy tennis trainers, and they're having they have trainers that they teach to become coaches. So leveling.
That's amazing.
Wow. Yeah, so if you go on,
we need more of that.
They would. I mean, they're trying to promote it. Right?
Let's do that.
Let's talk to your boys.
Any way for them to promote it, I would really appreciate it.
Are you kidding me?
Let's
do it.
So, Brian has my number.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I won't give it to them.
Yeah,
no!
Thank you, Brian.
I'm just gonna DM Bea after the show. Just a little fangirling on the side.
And for benefit guys, she does not have a Facebook.
Mhm.
Sorry.
I searched. I did search. I was like, nah, she doesn't have it. Nope.
Okay, anything else just before we close the show? Anything else that you would
You
want
want to share to the
Yes,
public?
there?
Promote or something.
Just to promote programs or something?
That was just already my for my kids, my boys who have been trying endlessly to promote their side
project,
their project, and this is the perfect platform for it. But aside from that, no, I mean, I'm usually not even on air. I'm not in social media. Not really.
Well, thank you for granting us this
thank you so
interview.
much, Bea. This has been an awesome interview, really.
It's been a pleasure, and it's been a lot of fun. More power to you guys.
Thank
you so much, Miss Bea. Wow.
We give a chance for our lady host to promote something right here. Alex,
oh,
we have a show later.
Later. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, definitely. Please listen to Republica 875 FM1 every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 12 noon to 3 p.m. And Radiohead on YouTube. Just more music and more interviews.
CJ?
Okay, mine is Eagle News International from 9 to 10 p.m. Monday to Friday. And every Saturday we go on at 11 p.m. to midnight. And Happy Time every noon. That's until 2 p.m. So do catch those shows. Thanks so much for having me again, Ernest and Brian.
And of course, the Godfather, Brian Yalung.
Well, thank you everybody for watching. We promise you I really worked on this because I really wanted to talk to Bea. Actually, I got the idea from another Hall of Famer. I'm not gonna say who, and it just so happened it just fell together, and I was able to connect you. And I'm very thankful you responded.
Yeah, very, very grateful.
Very well.
And with that, my name is Ernest Hernandez, telling everyone who hasn't liked Sports Bytes, Sports on Air, on all the pages mentioned a while ago, please support every one of us and again, we will have a lot of interviews. Brian has a lot of
lined up interviews,
lined up, you guys.
And I have something big.
See the face of Brian really stressed right now on scheduling everyone.
Wait, before you end, let's take a snapshot.
Okay.
All right, for this Bea. Okay, on 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you.
Okay.
This is gonna go on my ref.
Bye, Bea. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss Bea.
Thank you, Bea. Thank you.
Sports on Air and Sports Bytes. And my name is Ernest Hernandez, wishing you this very special message at times like this, which is to stay safe and God bless.